Welcome to the Deep Dive by Global Heroes, your go-to for the real stories behind real heroes. Get more inspiring content in your inbox with our newsletter, and be sure to follow along on social media.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. So our mission today, it takes us a bit north of Toronto. We're looking into an area that, well, based on our research, seems to have really nailed this idea of community success. We're launching an investigation, you could say, into what makes Collingwood, Ontario, just such a fascinating place for regional growth. And why Collingwood specifically? Well, our sources, and they're citing Statistics Canada survey data here, actually recognize it as Ontario's happiest town for business and lifestyle.
That's quite a statement, isn't it?
It really is. It suggests, they found some kind of rare equilibrium.
Absolutely. And that's really the core of what we want to unpack, this synergy. We're not just talking about random luck here. We're looking at the specific ingredients,
Yeah.
The deliberate community choices, the economic factors. How do prosperity and, well, personal well-being actually manage to merge successfully?
Yeah, how do they do that?
How does a town become an economic driver while keeping a really high quality of life for the people living there? That's the puzzle.
Okay, right. Let's get into it. So, for anyone maybe not familiar, Collingwood's appeal, it's kind of obvious right away from its setting. It's right there on Georgian Bay. Incredible access, boating, trails, and of course it's pretty famous for skiing, the recreation at Blue Mountain nearby.
World-class recreation, yeah. The natural environment, it's clearly foundational.
But it seems to go, well, deeper than just the 4 seasons of fun, right? What really seemed to stand out in the sources was this strong, almost deliberate sense of community. That's apparently a huge draw for families. They talk about safe neighborhoods, good local schools, and this cultural vibe, too. Festivals all year, farmers markets.
And you can almost feel that commitment, that lifestyle piece, when you, say, walk through the downtown core. The sources point out it's not just, generic shops. It's rich with heritage, character.
Right.
A walkable Main Street. It's full of independent stores, unique cafes, really good restaurants, apparently. It reflects a community that, well, values its history, but also fosters what's happening now.
Okay, it sounds lovely, like maybe a perfect place to retire. But the sources describe it as an economic magnet, not just a quiet haven.
That's the critical part. That's the pivot. What's so fascinating here is that the happiness, the quality of life, it isn't holding the economy back. It seems to be fueling it.
Really? How so?
Well, this environment, it attracts skilled people. It gives entrepreneurs a really strong reason to set up shop there. So Collingwood acts as this pretty dynamic hub for new businesses.
An entrepreneurial hub, okay.
Yeah, and we see quite a diverse economy. It's not just one thing. You've got tech, advanced food production design, and, naturally, that specialized four-season tourism is still huge. For tech companies, for instance, the sources specifically mentioned local investment in things like high-speed fiber optic networks. That means a big difference compared to other scenic small towns.
Ah, okay, so it's not just pretty views. It's about having the actual tools, the high-speed connection that lets talented people work globally but, live locally. So that access to talent, plus the supportive ecosystem, the collaborative networks the sources mentioned, it seems to prove you can build a serious business and also have a great personal life in the same spot.
Precisely. Which, brings up a really important question about the future, about longevity.
Right, because economic growth can sometimes put pressure on that local character, affordability.
Exactly. But the town, at least according to the sources, seems actively committed to future-proofing that balance. They're thinking ahead.
Well, okay, so that's where their focus on infrastructure, sustainability, and smart growth comes in.
That seems to be the strategy.
Trying to grow, but without losing that small town warmth they talk about.
Yeah, and if you connect that to the bigger picture, that commitment helps keep their main engine, tourism, all year round running strong, while also ensuring the community itself remains stable. Smart growth here seems to me making very intentional investments. Things like revitalizing heritage areas carefully, managing how dense new housing is, all to keep their identity intact.
So they're actively choosing quality growth, not just sort of rapid, maybe uncontrolled expansion.
It appears so. It's a conscious choice.
Okay. So the core takeaway from our deep dive today seems to be that Collingwood isn't just lucky with its location. It's presented almost as a masterclass in planning, a place where entrepreneurs, families, innovators, they can genuinely see a future that balances economic opportunity with a really high quality of life.
And that leads us right to our final thought for you, the listener. Considering this focus we saw in the sources on smart growth and sustainability, these deliberate investments they're making in infrastructure that go beyond just, say, business tax breaks. What foundational investments, both physical and maybe social, do you think are most critical for other communities out there hoping to copy this kind of success, this balance between a dynamic, modern economy and keeping that high quality of life?
Something to think about for sure. What really makes a place truly happy and successful in the long run?
That's it for today's deep dive. Want more? Stay connected with global heroes through our newsletter and socials. That's it for today's deep dive. Want more? Catch It's a Beautiful World on Prime Video and stay connected with global heroes through our newsletter and socials.